What's going on, sports fans and YouTubers? Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. Mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. YouTubers, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Got a lot of great things going on. And once again, shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. Now, if you're an Auburn fan, you know it can be an agonizing task at times. When you look back to the 2004 historic legendary team, which was occupied by current running backs coach Carnell Williams and linebackers coach and co-defensive coordinator Travis Williams on that team, arguably one of the better teams in Auburn history, going 13-0, only to be, shunned by just a few votes, right? And only to watch USC thrash Oklahoma in the national championship game. That's the kind of luck we're talking about that Auburn has. You fast forward to 2010, executing the national championship, giving Auburn the opportunity to have a high level of relevance in college football and gain some ground on the University of Alabama, who had all of those national championships pre-1979. Now, if you look at the Alabama Crimson Tide, they brag a lot about the national championships, which is great that they have the kind of legacy that they have. But if you look at it between 1979 and 1992, 0 national championships. And if you look in between, Auburn had several opportunities, but the voting again kept Auburn during the Pat Dye days out of a national championship. Fast forward to 1993, 13-0, best team in the country. What happens? You're on probation to where you can't participate in the bowl game. What kind of luck is that? Move fast forward 20 years later. Or was it 30 years later? Hang on. 30 years later, I think. 93, 2013, 93, 20 years later. All right? It just sucks. Between 1993 and 2013, 20th anniversary of sorts, going undefeated again. We're not going undefeated again, losing 2 games, being in the national championship game facing Florida State, only to lose that game in the final seconds. Fast forward to 2017, staring the prospect of a college football playoffs in the face, beating Alabama and Georgia, 2 #1 teams in the country. Get to the SEC championship game, lack of preparation, playing a very injured Kerryon Johnson, only to fall short once again. Now, where am I going with this? Auburn just just a rock in a hard place, just always in that spot to where they're right there, but just can't get over the hump. So now, moving forward, what has to happen? Now, I'm going to tell you all right now that Auburn probably will not be in the college football playoff this year. Really, if you look at it, a rigorous schedule. You featuring Oregon, Florida, Texas A&M, LSU, Georgia, and Alabama, all of that, Mississippi State, all of that together, I see at least 2 losses out of that. Okay? And that's just being, being honest. Now, being casually optimistic, this team could very well go 11-1. Or, looking at what happened in 2010, highly unlikely. No one saw that coming. You all can't say that you saw 2010 coming, because you didn't. I was looking at the usual 8-5. So when you come into this season, I'm just saying, just kind of taking a break from all the stats and all that other stuff. When you come into this season, you just have to come into this thing with a level of casual optimism for the Auburn Tigers. This team is poised to do well. They have a great defense. They have a great coaching staff. They have the opportunity to have a much better offense this year. I think they can take advantage of a little bit more time of possession to give the defense the opportunity to optimize their possibilities. But hey, you got to come, as we go into the spring practice, you got to come into this thing at least with a certain degree of casual optimism. That's all you can do, because you got to think about the elements involved. The schedule alone is tough. I mean, it's unreasonable, you know. And the Auburn fan base, you know, the whole "I hate Gus" narrative, I mean, you might as well forget it. He's there for at least another year. You don't want to agonize yourself by getting involved with the "I hate Gus" narratives. All right. So as we go into this thing, obviously casual optimism. The defense is back in place. Derrick Brown returns for the Auburn Tiger defensive line. Marlon Davidson returns as well. Caught wind that he's actually lost a little weight, so he's probably a little bit quicker. Might even spend a little time at that buck linebacker position. Who knows? Secondary seems to be in pretty good shape with Noah Igbenogany and some of the rest of those guys, and with Wesley McGriff returning as the coach, should be a good deal for the Auburn Tigers. Also, Kenny Dillingham coming with amazing results out of Memphis. 43 points per game, I think, teaming up with one of the 4 quarterbacks that he will have. I think the offense can be pretty solid. So there's reason for casual optimism at Auburn. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports, mostly talking about Auburn and the rest of the SEC. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're growing by leaps and bounds. I appreciate it, and War Eagle.